This hoodie?
Oh,
Did you
did
did
you?
you order this? Did you order this hoodie?
I did. I ordered it in black though. I wanted the heather gray, and I was like, the heather gray would be dope. It matches everything. But sometimes I get a little finicky, right? Because I know it's going to be epic either way. And I was like, black guaranteed. I'm coming back for the heather gray though.
I mean, black pretty much matches everything. Also, right?
I know, right?
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with black. But I've got the black one. I've got this gray one. I've got the one like you got with the chest logo on it too. But yeah, I don't know. I was kind of proud of myself with this logo, and I said I'm gonna put it on some shirts and some sweatshirts.
Yeah.
And then I went crazy, and I was my first customer.
Oh,
So,
that's awesome.
all right, man. So, what are we talking about today? We're talking about the importance of finding a mentor.
Yeah, mentorship. Finding, receiving, maybe even being a mentor. The value in that.
Yeah, I like that you said that, because the pastor in me, right? I always used to teach that a man needs a Paul, right? A mentor, and they need a Barnabas, which is kind of like somebody who's in the trenches with you, somebody who's right there with you on the same level. Mm-hmm. And then you need a Timothy, right? Somebody that you're teaching, somebody you're raising up, right? And it just exemplifies that, we all need to be learning. We all need to be connecting and sharing, and we all need to be on purpose. We need to be purposeful in bringing other men up. And I think that's critical to every man in their growth process. So
yeah, you just identified members of a tribe, your own intimate tribe, right?
What?
A tribe.
Yeah.
So you ever done the exercise like who's at your table, right? You have a table. Who would you have sitting at the table? Who would past or present? And then many people with Jesus Christ and all these great leaders or whatever, which is great. But I challenge men to, in the exercise I conduct, is identify those and what are the characteristics that they have that you want them sitting there, and do you desire that in yourself? Right, similar to what you said about Timothy, Barnabas, and Paul. Right? Do you just want those characteristics in the other people and surround yourself with that, or do you want to learn about them to bring it in through yourself? And so that brings us to the mentorship, right? If you have a mentor in the areas that you feel you are weak or need to be honed into to increase your masculine, you have to surround yourself with that type of person. And I think we get caught up in what is the definition of a mentor, right? We look at this defined dictionary answer, and really it's just someone we can look up to for a specific thing. It could be learn patience from someone else because they take the moment to listen. That's a mentor. Hey, what drives you to listen? What drives you to just have this conversation? Right?
Yeah.
It could be share with me how you do something. Because I'm woodworking, for instance. How do you get the grain like that? How do you get it to take so well? How do you get the grain to come up? Right? Could be that. It could be something like that. Or it could be complex, a mentor for life. Right? But it's surrounding yourself with those people that add to you. And it can be a quiet mentor, like you just kind of paying attention. Like I keep surrounding myself with this person. I keep engaging this person. Or it can be direct. Hey, Adam, really got this thing. If you don't mind, when you do this, can I tag along? Yeah, this is what I'm along.
Yeah. So, I mean, I love the idea of mentorship in that it can be very specific. You're right. As a carpenter, growing up and coming up in the trade itself, I had to learn how to do certain things from different men, right? And it's funny what I saw in those men who were teaching me how to make certain cuts and how to make certain things fit together and how to do certain aspects of a project. The more I worked with them, the more they were willing to share other things about life in general. And, you know, it's amazing what you can learn from somebody when you are willing to listen, when you're willing to accept the fact that this person knows more than I do about this. You're going to find other areas in life that maybe they do know more than you about, or they've had more experience with, right? That's the beauty of a mentor. Like, they provide insights and advice based on their own experiences. And so, I was 20. I don't know. I was in my mid 20s when I started as a carpenter, and the men that I learned from in carpentry gave me some of the best life advice that I've ever had. I mean, they made me a good carpenter too, but they gave me some great just advice in general. And I now will use lessons I learned from them when I'm coaching other men. And it's amazing. The other thing that they would, in their sharing of their experiences, I would get curious. So I would begin to ask questions, right? And I remember the first time that this thing called accountability happened for me with one of these guys, right? I had asked him a question about something. It wasn't about carpentry at all. As a matter of fact, I think it was about dating. It was about relationships. And I'd asked him this question. He gave me his advice, and I was like, I didn't know how to respond. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, awesome. And work was done for the week, right? So I went off, had my weekend. When I came back on Monday morning, we're back into this project and we're doing something. He's talking about, yeah, we got to cut this angle here. We got to make sure this fits here. And he's like, oh, by the way, how'd it go this weekend? What do you mean? And what he was asking me was, he was asking me about the situation I had asked him about. He was holding me accountable. He was basically making me recap. Did I take his advice? Right? Did I handle the situation appropriately? And he was holding me accountable. And at first I was like, oh yeah, it was great. It was great. And then I got honest with myself, right? I felt comfortable enough with him, which, you know, it kind of, to me, I relate that to, it gave me enough emotional intelligence to say, I don't know if I handled that right or not. This is what I heard you say. This is what I thought I should do based on what you said. Did I do it right? I don't remember the actual outcome of that, but I do remember, you know, now looking back at it, what it was accountability, and it was an opportunity for me to be vulnerable and gain some emotional intelligence. And that was a mentorship that I didn't seek out, right? I wasn't looking for mentorship. I was looking for a guy to teach me how to be a carpenter. And what I got was a man who was ready and willing to share life experience with me so that I could step up, so I could grow, so I could accelerate my learning and my experience in life by avoiding some of the pitfalls, right? And like I said, I don't remember if I did what he said or not. I just know that I remember the feeling of realizing that he had given me some tools. I went home for the weekend, used them to the best of my ability. And I came back and I asked, I didn't ask him. He asked me. He held me accountable to like, all right, report back to me, man. How'd it go? And it was great. And it just created this, it created a almost like this, well, it was a bond. But it was I knew that he actually cared, right? Mm-hmm. That he was invested in me. And that to me was my biggest takeaway. It was like, oh, this dude actually cares. This dude actually cares what I'm doing, right? Like, what is that? I think too many of us men feel like nobody really cares, right? And even some of the guys that I deal with, right? Some of the men that we coach. Yeah, they paid for the coaching, so they feel like we're obligated to be there for them and to hold them accountable. But the truth is, I think men thrive when they are in an environment where they get to hold each other accountable and be held accountable. I've never seen a man really shy away from once he's open and receptive and he realizes that he's not going to be rejected, that what he feels and what he thinks and how he acts to the men in this tribe and any tribe, really, you get any group of men together, there really is no judgment, right? What you think about yourself is so like not worthy of talking about or not worth talking about. It's so shameful. When you get with a group of men, you're going to find out that at least 50% of those men have felt or done this exact same thing. You're not alone in this world, right?